you guess what it is. We're going to do Jurassic Park. We'll just get some fun with this. Fine. Okay, so the theme was Darwin Awards, right? And all I could think of was God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs. Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth. What better Darwin Awards? So please enjoy our closing reading. Put on by a full ensemble with Joe Ganser on guitar and sound, please. Without further ado, welcome to I'm gonna set up our scene real quick. Most of you have probably seen the movie. So this is gonna be a familiar scene to you. All you need to know if you haven't seen it is that a group of paleontologists, as well as one of the founders' grandchildren, are on a tour through the park to get a taste of what the park is going to offer once they open. But there's a storm going on, and the vehicles are like automated. They're running off of computer programs, and they've stopped during the storm right outside the Tyrannosaur paddock. Y'all with me? Yeah. Okay. Then without further ado, welcome to Jurassic Park. Uncontrollably. His trousers flapping like flags. Jesus, he was frightened. He didn't want to be here. Alone among all the people in the two cars, Ed Regis knew what a dinosaur attack was like. He knew what happened to people. He had seen the mangled bodies that resulted from a raptor attack. He could picture it in his mind. And this was a Rex. Much, much bigger. The greatest meat eater that ever walked the earth. Jesus. When the Tyrannosaur roared, it was terrifying. A scream from some other world. Ed Regis felt the spreading warmth in his trousers. He peed in his pants. He was simultaneously embarrassed and terrified, but he knew he had to do something. He couldn't just stay here. He had to do something. Something. His hands were shaking, trembling against the dash. Jesus Christ, he said again.
Bad language,
Lex said, wagging her finger at him. Tim heard the sound of a door opening and he swung his head away from the Tyrannosaur. The night vision goggles streaked laterally, in time to see Ed Regis stepping out through the open door, ducking his head in the rain.
Hey, where are you going?
Ed Regis just turned and ran in the opposite direction from the Tyrannosaur, disappearing into the woods. The door of the Land Cruiser hung open, the paneling getting wet.
He left! Where did he go? He left us alone!
Shut the door!
He left us! He left us!
Tim, what is going on?
It was Dr. Grant on the radio.
Tim?
Tim leaned forward and tried to shut the door. From the back seat, he couldn't reach the handle. He looked back at the Tyrannosaur as lightning flashed again, momentarily silhouetting the huge black shape against the white flaring sky.
Tim, what's happening?
He left us! He left us!
Tim blinked to recover his vision. When he looked again, the Tyrannosaur was standing there exactly as before, motionless and huge. Rain dripped from its jaws, the forelimb gripped the fence. And then Tim realized the Tyrannosaur was holding on to the fence. The fence wasn't electrified anymore.
Lex, close the door!
The radio crackled.
Tim!
I'm here, Dr. Grant.
What's going on?
Regis ran away.
He what?
He ran away. I think he saw the fence isn't electrified.
The fence isn't electrified? Did you just say the fence isn't electrified?
Lex, close the door!
But Lex was screaming.
He left us! He left us!
There was nothing for Tim to do but climb out of the back door into the slashing rain and shut the door for her. Thunder rumbled, and the lightning flashed again. Tim looked up and saw the Tyrannosaur crashing down the cyclone fence with a giant hind limb.
Timmy!
He jumped back in and slammed the door, the sound lost in the thunderclap.
Tim, are you there?
He grabbed the radio.
I'm here. Lex, lock the doors. Get in the middle of the car and shut up.
Outside, the Tyrannosaur rolled its head and took an awkward step forward. The claws of its feet had caught in the grid of the flattened fence. Lex saw the animal finally and became silent still. She watched with wide eyes.
Tim,
Yes, Dr. Grant.
stay in the car. Stay down, be quiet, don't move, and don't make noise.
Okay.
You should be all right. I don't think you can open the car.
Okay.
Just stay quiet so you don't arouse its attention any more than necessary.
Okay.
Tim clicked the radio off.
You hear that, Lex?
His sister nodded silently. She never took her eyes off the dinosaur, the Tyrannosaur. In the glare of lightning, they saw it pull through the fence and take a bounding step forward. Now it was standing between the two cars. Tim couldn't see Dr. Grant's car anymore because the huge body blocked his view. The rain ran in rivulets down the pebbled skin of the muscular hind legs. He couldn't see the animal's head, which was high above the roofline. The Tyrannosaur moved around the side of their car. It went to the very spot where Tim had gotten out of the car, and the big head ducked down toward the mud, raised back up, jaws open, and then stopped by the side windows. In the glare of lightning, they saw the beady, expressionless reptile eye moving in the socket. It was looking in the car. Finally, the head lifted up out of view again.
Timmy!
It's okay. I don't think it saw us.
He was looking back toward Dr. Grant when a jolting impact rocked the Land Cruiser and shattered the windshield. As the Tyrannosaur's head crashed against the hood of the Land Cruiser, Tim was knocked flat on the seat. The night vision goggles slid off his forehead.
Lex!
He couldn't see his sister anywhere. The Tyrannosaur stood near the front of the Land Cruiser, its chest moving as it breathed, the forelimbs making clawing movements in the air.
Lex!
He heard her groan. She was lying somewhere on the floor under the front seat. And then the huge head came down. The Tyrannosaur banged again on the front hood of the Land Cruiser. Tim grabbed the seat. As the car rocked on its heels, the Tyrannosaur banged down twice more, denting the metal. And then it moved around the side of the car. The big raised tail blocked his view out of the side windows, and at the back, the animal snorted. A deep rumbling growl that blended with the thunder. It sank its jaws into the spare tire mounted on the back of the Land Cruiser and in a single head shake tore it away. And the rear of the car lifted into the air for a moment and then thumped down with a muddy splash.
Tim, are you there?
Tim grabbed the radio.
We're okay.
There was a shrill metallic scrape as claws raked the roof of a car. Tim's heart was pounding in his chest. He couldn't see anything out the windows on the right side except pebbled, leathery flesh. Lex groaned again. Tim put down the radio and started to crawl over into the front seat. And Tim felt a sharp pain in his head and tumbled to the floor onto the transmission hump. He found himself lying alongside Lex, and he was shocked to see that the whole side of her head was covered in blood. She looked unconscious. There was another jolting impact and pieces of glass fell all around him. Tim felt rain. He looked up and saw that the front windshield had broken out. There was just a jagged rim of glass, and beyond, the big head of a dinosaur looking down at him. Tim felt a sudden chill, and then the head rushed toward him, jaws open. There was the squeal of metal against teeth, and he felt the hot, stinking breath of the animal, and a thick tongue stuck into the car through the windshield opening. The tongue slapped wetly around the inside of the car, and he felt the hot lather of dinosaur saliva, and the Tyrannosaur roared. The head pulled away abruptly. The dinosaur stood in the rain near the front fender. It seemed confused by what had happened to it. Blood dripped freely from its jaws.
It can't get to me. It's too big.
And then the head pulled away, and in the flare of lightning, he saw the hind leg lift up, and the world tilted crazily as the Land Cruiser slammed on its side, the windows splattering in the mud. He saw Lex fall helplessly against the side window, and he fell down beside her, banging his head. The Tyrannosaur's jaws clamped onto the window frame, and the whole Land Cruiser was lifted up into the air and shaken.
Timmy!
Lex was suddenly awake, and he grabbed her as the Tyrannosaur crashed the car down again. Tim felt a stabbing pain in his side, and his sister fell on top of him. The car went up again, tilting crazily.
Timmy!
He saw the door give way beneath her and she fell out of the car into the mud. And in the next instant, everything swung. He saw the trunks of the palm trees sliding downward past him, moving sideways through the air, the hot roar of the tyrannosaur. The blazing eye, the tops of the palm trees, and then, with a metallic, scraping shriek, the car fell from the Tyrannosaur's jaws, a sickening fall, and Tim's stomach heaved in the moment before the world became totally black and silent.